whereby from diagnosis, because this is where we are losing many patients, because you find that once I come to the hospital and I don't have money and the NHF is not ready to cover for my treatment, the option is only to go home and remain there. And if, for example, I'm planning to do a Harabe, if my cancer was stage 1 or 0 grade, by the time I am able to get that money and come back, you find that my cancer has progressed to another stage. And in this way, we are losing many patients. So my request, I wish, from diagnosis, where if I, for example, if I am a breast cancer, if I feel a lump and I come to a hospital, the NHF should start there, covering, give me that cover from that stage. And by doing this, we will find that we will save many lives. But now, because of that we are losing many lives, and also we find that the NHF is covering treatment and the patients are getting treatment well. But now, after we finish treatment as a survivor, even you find there is no statistic which shows this number have survived. We only have the newly diagnosed and those who have died. So there is a gap there. The survivors, we don't have statistic showing that we have survived. And you find that, for example, those who are employed, during treatment, no employer will give you like a whole year off to get your treatment. And most of them are sacked. If, for example, one was in business, you find that you lose your business because the cancer treatment is very expensive. So after surviving, to integrate back to the community, it is not possible. And most of them are lost there. Again, you have survived cancer, you have gone through the treatment, but now, where do you go after that? You don't have a job, you don't have a business, your business got finished because of the treatment, and so you find that many are sinking into depression. So I wish the government can go a step ahead and follow these survivors so that after surviving, you'll be able to come back to the community and be able to lead your life just like there before. Because before cancer, many of us had big dreams. But after now we were diagnosed with cancer, our dreams were shattered, so to say, even our vision. And you find that during that time, like for example, me, I took 2 years to be through with the treatment because I had a metastasis. So you find that you take a lot of time. So by the time you finish the treatment, you don't know where now to go. So I wish the government through NHF can help even the survivors in this. And also about rehabilitation, which I want to invite Lucy, a cancer survivor, to talk about it. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Yes, my name is Lucy Njeri Kariuki. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I'm a wife and I'm a mother. Let me insist that. Because what is happening after we have a cancer diagnosis, wazee wengi wanatoroka, lakini mzee wangu bado yuko, na bado mimi ni mama, niko na watoto wangu. We should applaud them who stay with us. After the cancer diagnosis and treatment, some of us lose part of our bodies. One thing that goes off is the hair due to chemotherapy. The next thing that happens, you lose a part of your body. See matiti ukweli. And for this, we have rehabilitations that happens. One thing I want to applaud Kilele Health for the breast prostheses. These are the breast prostheses that they have donated today for our self-esteem. Nimesunda kitu kama hii hapa hivi. Sinika niko na matiti mbili. We use a special bra. We don't just wear the kawaida bra. We use a mastectomy bra. It has a pocket behind. This thing goes for a lot of money. And oh, sorry, I forgot. This is the mastectomy bra that we have. This is where you put your prosthesis, and then you put it against your chest to have like mtumia kona nyonyo mbili. But for the real essence, I have one, and I'm proud of it. At least I have one. Then we also lose our hair. That is part of the cancer treatment. Signora Nendanga, wangapi tumekunywa kimo? By show of hands. Yes, these are our heroes today. And it is not just the hair that you see on the head, any part of the body that has hair. Let it be known. Some of us hatuambiangu hivyo, unaambiangwa tu nywele itaanguka. Next time unapata hata nywele zingine huko unajua uko nazo, mpaka hii inaangukanga. We want to upload lash for this. We also have sleeves for those people who develop lymphedema for the hand. We have sleeves that we use to compress for the swelling of the hand. And I'm also very happy because of one breast stop. This is a dream. This is a dream come true. I'm also very happy because people have been working very, very hard. I want to applaud Dr. Nyangasi. She has been around the clock. We have seen things that are working. I'm one of those people that I'm watching her. We have a cancer center in Machakos. We have radiotherapy launched in Mombasa. We have another one in Garissa and in Nakuru. And now that we have this one stop here, people stop traveling from NZ to come and seek treatment to Kenyatta, Sindio. So I want to applaud Dr. Nyangasi for that. And we are hoping that all county facilities are going to have an oncology clinic. That means that when I come in here with a symptom or things that are cancerous, I'll be attended here for my surgery, for my chemo, because you're having patients going anafanya chemotherapy, no, surgery, Moranga, then she comes here, she tries to get the chemo. At least we have one stop, and I'm happy because of this. Thank you very much.
Good morning once again. May I extend a warm welcome to you all to Kenyatta University Teaching Referral and Research Hospital, otherwise known as KUTRRH, and to this official launch of the KUTRH Comprehensive Breast Care Center, the commemoration of the Breast Cancer Month, and the launch of Herceptin, which is a medication also called trastuzumab, 600 milligram from our partners. And we really appreciate the partners, Roche, National Cancer Control Program from the ministry, for this very important event. Our chief guest, on behalf of the KUTRH management and staff, I'm glad to have the Comprehensive Breast Care Center officially launched today. Currently, the center has been attending to an average of 20 patients daily. Upon this official launch, we look forward to attending to at least 50 patients daily for screening, early diagnosis, and treatment. Through the center, we shall provide a range of services including breast health education, clinical breast examination, mammograms, breast ultrasound, breast MRI, biopsy, histopathology, immunohistochemistry, staging CT scans, PET-CT, specialized consultation, among others. Ladies and gentlemen, early detection, as has been said previously by the previous speaker, early detection of cancer improves chances of successful treatment and ultimate survivorship. The opening of KUTRH Comprehensive Breast Care Center therefore ensures that women, and indeed men, with breast health concerns get the answers they need through fast access to a specialist, diagnostic tests, scans, and results within 60 days of presentation as recommended by the World Health Organization. Our chief guest, as the hospital seeks to address the whole continuum of cancer care, we nonetheless continue
Ahmed Dagane to come and welcome
key gaps in training,
our
specialized services including the breast radiologists, radiographers, breast surgeons, histopathologists, cytopathologists, counselors, oncoplastic surgeons, cancer registrars, palliative care physicians, as well as genetic counselors. The hospital also seeks support from our stakeholders and partners in the provision of critical equipment to supplement the ones that we currently have, which are already overstretched due to high demand. This includes the high energy ultrasound with high frequency probes, 3D digital mammogram with tomosynthesis and stereotic biopsy capability. In addition, we look forward to the hospital's acquisition of a next generation sequencing machine for more targeted treatment planning specific to our patient's DNA or RNA. Our chief guest, currently the center is providing subsidized services in mammography at Kenya shillings 2,000, breast ultrasound at Kenya shillings 1,500, breast MRI at Kenya shillings 25,000, and staging PET CT scans for those without NHIF cover at 18,000 shillings. These subsidies are expected to continue through the month of November this year. Ladies and gentlemen, with the official launch today, we look forward to contributing immensely to the fight against cancer through early regular screening, diagnosis and treatment to improve outcomes and survivorship. This initiative also enhances the hospital's focus in offering evidence-based care through research. With these few remarks, it's my humble pleasure to invite Madam Gladys Ogalo, who is standing in for our chairperson, Professor Olive Mugenda, to make her remarks. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I take this opportunity to express my appreciation to our chief guest, Ms. Susan Mochache, our distinguished guests, led by Switzerland Ambassador to Kenya, His Excellency Valentine Zellweger, and all our partners for making time and supporting this official launch of the KUTRH Comprehensive Breast Care Center and the commemoration of the Breast Cancer Awareness Month activities. Our chief guest, on behalf of the chairperson, board of directors, fellow directors, management, and the entire KUTRH fraternity, I thank you for the support that the government, through the Ministry of Health, has continued to extend towards this hospital. Indeed, this has seen the continuous rollout and operationalization of key facilities and services to address health gaps within our country and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, as earlier envisaged in our plan for the hospital's establishment, I'm pleased to note that today we fulfill part of that dream by availing a comprehensive breast care center. This idea came about due to the statistics that we are seeing in the oncology center and the integrated molecular imaging center, where breast cancer cases continue to rise. This is confirmed by countrywide and indeed national breast cancer prevalence statistics. From the time the Breast Cancer Center opened its doors in August 2022, it has picked up very fast, underscoring the fact that it was indeed timely. From the range of services that are taking place at the center, it's notable that emphasis on prevention and early diagnosis has been taken care of as part of targeting better health outcomes and increased survivorship. I'd like to give a special mention to our chairperson, board of directors, Professor Olive Mugenda, who is not able to join us today. She was very instrumental in conceptualizing and operationalizing the center. To get this concept right, the chair led a team to the University of Manchester, where our collaborating partners introduced us to the Nightingale Breast Cancer Center in the UK. We got value information on how to run such a center and the benefits of this to both the patients and their families. The chair then appointed a committee to set up a center which has ensured that the center is operational. Our chief guest, to bring the objective of the center to fruition, I note that the value of close working relationship with our partners is and continues to be valuable. So on behalf of the chair, the board will continue guiding management so that we invest in the state-of-art equipment and a dedicated team of specialists, living up to the center's ideals of providing holistic, patient-centered breast cancer services. Ladies and gentlemen, in line with the hospital's strategic plan 2022-2032, and in line with the National Breast Cancer Screening and Early Diagnosis Action Plan 2021-2025, I'm glad to note that the KUTRH Center will provide a valuable resource for continuous breast care services and support. The support will not only focus on diagnosis and treatment, but also on psychological support and research. This research is meant to find out more about cancers so that there is a continuous development of care. As our sister who has spoken has said, when she came back after her treatment, she had to figure out where she is going to start life from. That is the reason why we need to have this psychological support and research, because there is life after cancer. From the KUTRH Comprehensive Breast Care Center, we look forward to identifying undiagnosed cases, asymptomatic cases, as well as those who may have risk-modifying or precancerous stages in the breast which would predispose them to breast cancer. From the screenings, early diagnosis will be facilitated and prompt treatment will commence for improved outcomes. Our medical specialists will always be available to support the patients and those who visit the center to ensure a wholesome approach to prevention and healing. Our chief guest, I note with appreciation that KUTRH has been offering breast care services through the Oncology Department, Integrated Molecular Imaging Center, and both the Radiotherapy and Radiology departments. As we look forward to optimal utilization of the center and increased stakeholder support, I'm persuaded that the launch today avails much needed convenience for health workers with a one-stop facility for screening, early diagnosis, and treatment of breast care conditions at KUTRH. Our long-term objective, chief guest, is to have a stand-alone structure with all services and equipment in one place. We will work with the ministry under your guidance, Madam PS, to achieve this dream. As we applaud the courage of our two sisters who have stood here to give their breast cancer survival journey, I would like to encourage all of us here to be screened, male and female. You're all encouraged to be screened. And as a representative of the board, I would like to pledge our support for all these life-saving activities. In conclusion, we look forward to more stakeholder support for the center, not only to address the current needs, but also
for women in Kenya. Unfortunately, nearly all of us know someone who is suffering from or has suffered from cancer, and we have just heard these very impressive testimonials. And I think we all know someone who has had cancer or suffered from it. When someone is diagnosed with cancer, a world often comes crashing down for the person affected and her or his family. And again, I refer to the testimonials we just heard. Fears of death or loss arise. In addition, there are questions about how to pay for adequate treatment, or after the treatment, how to reinsert in life, as we have just heard. Breast cancer is one of the most common cancers, and with 6,000 new cases a year, the most commonly diagnosed cancer in Kenya. In Kenya, it is also increasingly affecting young or younger women. The mortality rate is high due to the often late discovery of the cancer and due to a lack of funds to pay for adequate treatment. For breast cancer patients, it is thus key to include diagnosis and treatment into the essential health services. The MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, that was signed in June between the Ministry of Health, the National Health Insurance Fund, and Roche, aims to do exactly that and focuses on the following 3 pillars. First, diagnosis, second, treatment, and third, financing. It is the first national access program for cancer medicines in Kenya. This MOU is a milestone towards universal health coverage for women with breast cancer. It will ensure that women with breast cancer will have access to standard care treatment. The MOU is also an example how the public and the private sector can work hand in hand to improve access to medical products and social protection mechanisms. On the one hand, the private sector is the force behind innovative and targeted research and development of diagnostic and medicinal products. The public sector, on the other hand, sets the framework conditions around making the best of use of these without leaving anyone behind. Switzerland, I must say, Switzerland is proud to host the pharmaceutical company Roche. It was founded in Basel, which is my hometown, more than 125 years ago, and it is still deeply rooted in Basel, but also in Switzerland. Today we could also say it's not only rooted in Basel, but it's also towering above Basel, because Roche has the highest building, has built the highest building in Switzerland. So it's rooted and towering over Basel, and that gives you an indication of its importance for the Swiss economy, but also for the regional economy in Basel. Roche is a truly global company with a big footprint in Africa and in Kenya, and yet it is still mainly a family-ruled business. Roche is a leader in cancer research, and its innovative drugs for treating cancer patients are used all over the world. Herceptin has been used to treat more than 2 million breast cancer patients worldwide so far. Today, the first patient in Kenya will be treated with Herceptin under the new national access program provided for in the MOU that I have mentioned. This will be done in the new comprehensive breast care center at Kenyatta University Hospital, which we just visited. My warmest congratulations on the inauguration of this center. Today is a day of hope for this woman patient, but also for all other breast cancer patients in Kenya. We wish them all much strength and a good recovery. Thank you all. Thank you to the Ministry of Health, the National Health Insurance Fund, and the Kenyatta University Hospital, as well as Roche for making all of this possible. May I now invite Frank Löffler, the General Manager of Roche East Africa, to join me on the podium and share a few words on his behalf.
To patients in Kenya, and this regardless of your financial means. We are in a position to give dignity to patients, which I think is the most important. And this can only happen if we are coming together across the different professions, if we come together as public and private sector, and if we work together to deliver service to the patient, who should be always at the center of what we do. I'm very humbled to be a part of this with Roche, and I'm very, very thankful for all of you who contributed over the last months to make this happen and to make it reality. I would also like to congratulate KUTRH for opening this comprehensive cancer or comprehensive breast care center, because it's what is needed to be really effective and efficient and to provide quality care. And I want to invite you all to be thankful to all the healthcare professionals working here, the nurses, the doctors, the pharmacists, everyone serving the patient every day. You are the arms and the legs of the healthcare system, and I think all of us should give you a big round of applause. And please let me now invite my colleagues for the handover of the first Herceptin to the patient representatives and to our chief guests.
To launch the Kenyatta University Teaching, Research and Referral Hospital Breast Care Cancer of Excellence, Center of Excellence, and the National Breast Cancer Awareness Month of 2022. Today, we mark a great stride as a country in our fight against breast cancer, and this being the very first of its kind in Kenya, and not just in Kenya, but also in the region, and strongly resonating with our mission as government, as a people, to reduce the increasing burden of breast cancer by, one, ensuring timely diagnosis and ensuring that we provide linkages to care for those found to have breast cancer all under one roof. I was so happy to hear the survivor, one of the survivors speaking and saying that this is momentous for them, that you don't have to keep moving from one facility to another. You come to one place and you get all the services offered: diagnosis, mammography, radiography, whatever treatment you need, ultrasounds, everything is offered here. We were also sensitive to locate everything in one place, particularly for our female, because we realized sometimes we expose you moving around in the different parts of the hospital, and you're dealing with issues that are very private in their own way. And indeed, it's a fruit of a collaboration that we began with the University of Manchester and the Nightingale Hospital of the United Kingdom. So I stand here proud to see the fruits of that collaboration. And also standing here, happy to say that these are the fruits of the universal health coverage of our government. The policy is bearing fruit. Cancer access is treatment, diagnosis is getting closer to the people. You have already heard of the many facilities that we have across the country, and today we are talking about integrated treatment right here in our republic. And this as one of our early milestones of delivering universal health coverage. Our national theme for this year's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, ladies and gentlemen, is Rethinking Pink. Screening saves lives. And that is why today I proudly wear my pink badge, both the ribbon and the badge, just to really be an ambassador of this agenda during this month. We note that globally, breast cancer is the most frequent cancer overall, with over 2 million cases that were reported in 2020. It is estimated that up to 70% of cancer deaths occur in both low and middle income countries. And in Kenya, cancer continues to remain the leading type that affects our women, with 6,799 cases and 3,000 deaths annually. And those are the ones that we know about. I'm almost certain that almost everyone here, including myself, knows somebody who has been affected by breast cancer. It has almost become a household name, breast cancer. It is the agony of any woman when you touch your breast and feel anything unusual, and the first thing that comes to your mind, oh my goodness, could it be cancer? And sometimes we are too afraid to even go for the check because we don't want to hear the dreaded news. This weekend, I had a friend who had a small growth on her breast, and I asked her, and she said it started like a little thing and it has now grown, but it's an exterior growth. And she said, I'm afraid to go to hospital because I don't want to hear that I have cancer. And I told her, no, more reason you need to go now, because if it is cancer and we catch it early, you'll be treated. So that is why we say that the alarming statistics should not in any way scare us, but instead it should make us understand the importance of knowing what breast cancer is and how being aware and taking action on time can save a life. So I want to speak to that woman and even man today, because breast cancer, let's break the myth, it's not a woman's disease. Men are also diagnosed of cancer. Please, if you feel anything unusual in your breast, go and get diagnosed. And we have facilities across the country. And today, KU, thank you, because we are offering free diagnosis and free early treatment as we commemorate the Breast Awareness Month. Let's also recognize that beyond what we do in our borders, we are also signatories to global treaties, and particularly on the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, which continue to remain a priority, not just as a globe, but also for us here in Kenya. We know that the SDG number 3 requires that there should be a reduction by one third of premature mortality from non-communicable diseases by 2030. And that is through prevention, which is about lifestyle, which we are talking about, the foods we eat, the way we live our lives, the activity of our lives, as well as the early diagnosis, treatment, and promotion of not just breast cancers and other cardiovascular diseases, but also mental health, wellness, and well-being. And you have seen today the strong correlation between cancer and mental health. You heard about patients sinking into depression after they have gone through the episode of cancer, because it leaves them sometimes not able to take care of their livelihoods. So breast cancer is an uncommunicable disease that is of great public health concern, as it contributes significantly to mature death. So remember the 3,500 that I talked about that we lose every year. Our target is to reduce that number by a third. In fact, as per the current statistics in Kenya, the sad reality is that the people that we lose, the people most affected by this cancer, are people in their prime lives, people who are at the optimal height of their productivity. That is people between 35 and 45 years. In terms of, working, that is when you're most productive. In terms of raising a family, that is when your children are young and they most need you. So it touches such a critical demographic of our population. And this, when we compare to the developed countries, it is different there, because the people who have cancer are largely women who are over 50 years old. But in our country, it is much lower. And this is what led the Ministry of Health to launch a very specific, beyond our national cancer strategy, we have launched the Breast Cancer Action Plan for 2021 to 2025 in October 2021, so that we can guide very specific, high-impact policy interventions that are required to reduce the breast cancer burden in our country. As we mark 1 year since the launch of this action plan, we are very pleased to be implementing the launch of the first one-stop shop diagnostic facility, which will be a center of excellence as outlined in our action plan. So what we are saying, hatukuandika vitabu peke yake, lakini tumeanza safari. Hatuandiki na kuweka vitabu kwenye shelves to gather dust. We actually walk the talk. And I'm pleased that we have started realizing the fruits of the journey that we had begun in 2021 when we articulated the roadmap of how we are going to tackle the burden of breast cancer. It is indeed unfortunate to note that most of our patients are diagnosed late. In fact, as I walked in the facility, the doctor confirmed to me that unfortunately, people come in at stage 3 and at stage 4. That is quite advanced. And when you look at our action plan, we are now saying we really must be able to diagnose cancer at stage 1. Even before, in fact, I've just learned today that there is a pre-cancer or pre-infection stage, and we are able to treat the lesions even before they become cancerous. So there is really hope, and this is why the agenda of primary health care, which has been very well articulated, even by His Excellency the President William Ruto in his manifesto and in his plan, that primary health care through community health volunteers must work, because that is the first level of diagnosis. The primary health care workers have been trained. The manuals we have given them have given them some guidance of diagnosing some types of cancer. So when they go out there, household to household, they could possibly save many lives by getting somebody to go to the hospital when the cancer is still at its very early stage. And I can assure you that when we catch it early, you actually get treated and you live a normal and long life. So, unfortunately, our survival rates are low because of that, but I have already linked you to community health volunteers and the primary healthcare network and why it's important. Because current evidence denotes that screening and early diagnosis still remain the cornerstone, really the foundations for controlling breast cancer. And promotion of breast health awareness and education of women on what they should do to prevent breast cancer are paramount in the early detection of this disease. And me being here today, I stand also as a champion and an advocate of raising the awareness of this disease called breast cancer. The Ministry of Health is continuously putting in efforts to raise awareness and has made tremendous efforts so far. And we seek to comprehensively address and control through systemic implementation of evidence-based intervention. And that's one of the things that we have done well as a country. We are led by science. We are led by evidence. And that is what really has gotten us here. Listening to our patients, the survivors, looking at all the issues on palliative care, looking at financing, which I'm happy you've heard what the NHIF is doing. We offer cover on cancer treatment through the NHIF. And that is why when we talk about universal health coverage, the call is on every Kenyan to get covered by NHIF. Don't wait until the disease knocks at the door. When you've received the diagnosis, then you run to NHIF to get a cover, because unfortunately, NHIF won't cover you. You'll have to get 3 months before you get the benefits that you require. So where you can afford, as government intervenes for those that cannot afford, please make sure that you get the insurance cover. And men, the cover is for you, and women as well, your spouses and your children. So if you have daughters, you want them to be on that cover so that they are also able to get early diagnosis. And we also begin to build a culture of people understanding the essence of getting a health insurance cover to avoid the poverty that this disease sinks people into, as we have heard here. A lot of collaboration has been done in making cancer management services more widely available. And I'm very proud that really we have been able to expand services away from the only one public hospital that we had, Kenyatta National Hospital, where you had to go and line for days. And if you came from out of town, you will sleep on those corridors until your turn comes, to the 11 regional cancer centers that we have established in our country, in Nakuru, in Meru, Nyeri, Embu, Garissa, Bomet, Machakos, Coast, Kakamega, Jaramogi Odinga, and Makueni. Some are already, in fact, this and another 100 are already operational in terms of providing chemotherapy services, and the others are at different stages of providing radiotherapy services, and that is specifically Mombasa, Nakuru, and Garissa, and of course, the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, in addition to Kenyatta Hospital. I'm also happy to say that we launched and commissioned the Integrated Molecular Imaging Center at KU that has improved diagnosis and monitoring of the treatment response without having our people go abroad. You're aware that we only had one center in the private sector, that's Aga Khan. You know how long it will take for you to get treated because it was the only one, not just here, but in the region. But we are happy that as public sector, as government, we now have the facility right here, and we are continuing to train our personnel, and it means that we are better able to manage anyone that we are treating on cancer. And as I said, we don't treat Kenyans only, we also treat patients from across the region. And we have quite a number already visiting our facility. I take note of the recent addition of the SPECT CT services into the spectrum of our services at the nuclear medicine unit, which will help also in diagnosis and treatment of cancer. So as we are aware, cancer treatment is a significant contributor to catastrophic health expenditures, many going into poverty. I need not say that. And apart from late stage diagnosis, which contributes significantly to high cost of treatment, the other significant cost driver is the price of medicine, particularly the patented innovator molecules, which remain out of the reach of the majority. Because you know, in science, there is always evolution of medicines. We continue getting better drugs with less adverse effects, which are much more efficacious, much more effective. And indeed, in our endeavor to make these high-quality innovator molecules available, we have continued to negotiate with pharmaceutical industry to make these drugs more accessible and available to deserving Kenyans. If I start talking to you about the agenda of affordable pricing of medicines in Kenya that we are doing at the MOH, it will take another 1 hour. It's a big part of work that is currently ongoing and will continue to go on to see that the prices of medicines in the country come much lower, because we know that today 40% of what goes into your treatment is actually just medicine, and for cancer it may even go up to 80%. So I'm really happy to announce today that following the engagement of an MOU with Roche at KU in June 2022, we are now starting off its implementation by officially launching the Herceptin SC Access Program, which essentially means that any patient who is diagnosed with breast cancer upon screening is eligible for this drug and will have access to this innovative treatment with the 18 cycles of treatment fully covered as long as you are on an NHIF card. It will also ensure that our women and men with breast cancer have access to standard quality of breast cancer treatment. And in this regard, I repeat myself to urge you to please get the NHIF cover so that you access the benefits, including oncology, which is part of the UHC insurance package. Ladies and gentlemen, we recognize that prevention is better than cure, and indeed, up to 40% of all cancers can be prevented. And we acknowledge the need to continuously rethink our strategy, align our health system to focus more on prevention, and that has come very clearly even from the top political leadership of our country, because this has shown that it is the most cost-effective way of fighting cancer and other diseases. So we must anchor our cancer response on primary health care and universal health coverage, as I said, to meet our national aspirations of low cancer and better management that is cost-effective. So as we continue to put efforts in strengthening our health system to ensure that there is equitable and there is accessible cancer prevention and control services, we realize the importance of delivering faster and earlier diagnosis and better experiences for our patients. Our presence here to launch the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital Breast Cancer Center of Excellence is an acknowledgement of the need to transform the way that we deliver diagnostic services for cancer. I will repeat again, it's a one-stop shop for patients with symptoms that would quickly indicate breast cancer and a quicker access to treatment in the shortest time possible, because you'll be diagnosed and immediately move to your treatment regime. And this indeed is a big step that we have taken in moving forward this agenda. So I want to really thank KU and congratulate you for this great achievement and for leading the way in innovations for cancer control in our country. As I conclude, I also recognize and celebrate our cancer survivors, particularly those that are in our midst. You are our heroes. You did not give up, but instead you fought and you continue to fight for a quality life even after being diagnosed with breast cancer, where somebody may have made you think or you may have thought you had a death sentence. You still continue to survive, and you're the reason that we do what we are doing today. There are also many family members who have borne the struggle of supporting a loved one through their cancer journey, and we salute you because it is not easy. I have also walked the journey of taking care of a mother-in-law who was suffering cancer, and I know it is a difficult journey. But let us strengthen ourselves to know and encourage ourselves to know that our strength and resilience serves as an encouragement for all of us not to stop in our efforts to triumph over breast cancer. Finally, allow me to acknowledge all the stakeholders that we work with in cancer control in the country, and we will continue to work together until we win this fight against cancer. I want to particularly take this opportunity to thank the team that I have worked with in the Ministry of Health. Dr. Nyangasi, Dr. Kirago, I see you here. I can tell you these are officers that have worked tirelessly to make the reality of access to cancer treatment available, to make the reality of medicines available. Let me tell you, it takes commitment for an individual to push documents through a government system and finally get us to even sign an MOU. It's not as easy as you can imagine, because every MOU must be cleared by the National Treasury, it must be cleared by the Attorney General, and the usual bureaucracy within ministries. So I want to salute the officers, because if it is not for their commitment, those things would just lie there and not be moved ahead. So really, I want to thank you for the time that we have worked together there, recognizing that we're in a transition, and what we have done for the people of this country as far as cancer is concerned. It was such a pleasure. Let me also thank the partners of the government, and to also reiterate to you that we have partnered with the best. You here today here, the ambassador of Switzerland is here. Switzerland is a highly developed country. Roche is amongst the top pharmaceutical countries in the world, and that is what government seeks, the best for its people. And so we want to thank you for coming forth to work with us. My only challenge to you, Roche, is to be alive to our national call now, the government policy to move towards local manufacturing. You have heard His Excellency the President pronounce himself severally, and I hope that you will take the cue of Moderna. And I'm happy that Eric, you're here representing the American pharmaceutical company, who we are in discussions with to set up a $500 million investment of a human vaccine and pharmaceutical manufacturing company here, and it will be the first in Africa. So Roche, I want to challenge you to consider also setting up a manufacturing company in our country to serve not only ourselves, but as well as the region. And so with those very few and many remarks, let me take this opportunity to say that the Herceptin SC Access Program is officially launched. Secondly, that the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital Comprehensive Breast Cancer Center of Excellence is officially opened. And use this opportunity to welcome all Kenyans of different walks of life to come and get treatment in this public facility that is being built for them and by them. And also to give you the assurance that we are on course in the long journey towards the attainment of universal health coverage. And again, I need not repeat, it is also very clear in the new administration that UHC is amongst the priorities. So I believe that what has begun will move and continue to greater heights to ensure that we realize the health dreams and aspirations of our people. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki. In this regard, I repeat myself to urge you to please get the NHIF cover so that you access the benefits, including oncology, which is part of the UHC insurance package. Ladies and gentlemen, we recognize that prevention is better than cure. And indeed, up to 40% of all cancers can be prevented. And we acknowledge the need to continuously rethink our strategy, align our health system to focus more on prevention, and that has come very clearly even from the top political leadership of our country, because this has shown that it is the most cost-effective way of fighting cancer and other diseases. So we must anchor our cancer response on primary health care and universal health coverage, as I said, to meet our national aspirations of low cancer and better management that is cost-effective. So as we continue to put efforts in strengthening our health system to ensure that there is equitable and there is accessible cancer prevention and control services, we realize the importance of delivering faster and earlier diagnosis and better experiences for our patients. Our presence here to launch the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital Breast Cancer Center of Excellence is an acknowledgement of the need to transform the way that we deliver diagnostic services for cancer. I will repeat again, it's a one-stop shop for patients with symptoms that would quickly indicate breast cancer and a quicker access to treatment in the shortest time possible, because you'll be diagnosed and immediately move to your treatment regime. And this indeed is a big step that we have taken in moving forward this agenda. So I want to really thank KU and congratulate you for this great achievement and for leading the way in innovations for cancer control in our country. As I conclude, I also recognize and celebrate our cancer survivors, particularly those that are in our midst. You are our heroes. You did not give up, but instead you fought and you continue to fight for a quality life even after being diagnosed with breast cancer, where somebody may have made you think or you may have thought you had a death sentence. You still continue to survive, and you're the reason that we do what we are doing today. There are also many family members who have borne the struggle of supporting a loved one through their cancer journey, and we salute you because it is not easy. I have also walked the journey of taking care of a mother-in-law who was suffering cancer, and I know it is a difficult journey. But let us strengthen ourselves to know, encourage ourselves to know that our strength and resilience serves as an encouragement for all of us not to stop in our efforts to triumph over breast cancer. Finally, allow me to acknowledge all the stakeholders that we work with in cancer control in the country, and we will continue to work together until we win this fight against cancer. I want to particularly take this opportunity to thank the team that I have worked with in the Ministry of Health. Dr. Nyangasi, Dr. Kirago, I see you here. I can tell you these are officers that have worked tirelessly to make the reality of access to cancer treatment available, to make the reality of medicines available. Let me tell you, it takes commitment for an individual to push documents through a government system and finally get us to even sign an MOU. It's not as easy. as you can imagine, because every MOU must be cleared by the National Treasury, it must be cleared by the Attorney General, and the usual bureaucracy within ministries. So I want to salute the officers, because if it is not for their commitment, those things would just lie there and not be moved ahead. So really, I want to thank you for the time that we have worked together there, recognizing that we're in a transition, and what we have done for the people of this country as far as cancer is concerned. It was such a pleasure. Let me also thank the partners of the government, and to also reiterate to you that we have partnered with the best. You here today here, the ambassador of Switzerland is here. Switzerland is a highly developed country. Roche is amongst the top pharmaceutical countries in the world, and that is what government seeks, the best for its people. And so we want to thank you for coming forth to work with us. My only challenge to you, Roche, is to be alive to our national call now, the government policy to move towards local manufacturing. You have heard His Excellency the President pronounce himself severally, and I hope that you will take the cue of Moderna. And I'm happy that Eric, you're here representing the American pharmaceutical company, who we are in discussions with to set up a 500 million investment of a human vaccine and pharmaceutical manufacturing company here, and it will be the first in Africa. So Roche, I want to challenge you to consider also setting up a manufacturing company in our country to serve not only ourselves, but as well as the region. And so with those very few and many, many, many remarks, let me take this opportunity to say that the Herceptin SC Access Program is officially launched. Secondly, that the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital Comprehensive Breast Cancer Center of Excellence is officially opened. And use this opportunity to welcome all Kenyans of different walks of life to come and get treatment in this public facility that is being built for them and by them. And also to give you the assurance that we are on course in the long journey towards the attainment of universal health coverage. And again, I need not repeat, it is also very clear in the new administration that UHC is amongst the priorities. So I believe that what has begun will move and continue to greater heights to ensure that we realize the health dreams and aspirations of our people. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
A clap for them as that is handed over. Thank you so much. We appreciate this. Ambassador, we're glad that 1, 2, 3.
Pole pole.